this. Okay. So, I just looked in my YouTube settings and noticed that the issue was that, in my, not YouTube settings, sorry, on my OBS settings, I noticed it was still set to legacy LTMP, because I had set that last time around due to issues with package loss, which got fixed through switching to that mode. But I still had it apparently there, which I thought I had set it to the other thing back, but whatever, it works now. As soon as I tried to connect, it dropped all the packets, so I decided to restart my repeater with which I'm connecting. And off the top of my head, recall the song for Indiana. One click LB in the back, that sounds like a good idea in all honesty. Quick pass a bit forwards. Brake duct seem a bit too far open for these conditions. It's only 30 degrees. Tire pressure look relatively low, but that still looks fine. I think I'll leave it at this right now and then just drive it out and see what the car does.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Right, well actually the IndyCar fits, and here's the re-out of brakes, you can actually feel it for the steering wheel. Alright then. How many GT4s do we have? 5 have actually turned up. Alright, McDonald again. John. He was someone to look out. He's driving an Audi. There's Qualy with a... what is it? With an Alpine, who's right now the fastest for 47.8, but I think there's a long way to go. Also be careful on this pit exit, and there's Bullwings actually. No, we're right in front of us in a Ferrari. Oh god. Yeah, interestingly enough, we're using here the... when you will compare this to the R-Factor 2 layout of this circuit, we're using a... I don't know what these two good. Also, you can use the entire track width here, which is very interesting. The R-Factor 2 layout you couldn't. But it is obviously a more modern layout. So we have this piece here. Because my point is that you have multiple R-Factor 2 layouts obviously with the circuit. Or you're gonna pass through here because that's... I'm so sorry! Like, you have too much understeer in the GT4s. Holy shit! Okay, I have too much understeer in this set. Sweet mother of God, I cannot take these corners flat. You need to be able to do that. Pretty sure. So when do we brake? 300 sounds good. 300 was not good. I need to brake very early. Oh, this is fun. Maybe we actually have to use higher TC settings. Car's a bit understeer bias. It's definitely different from when I drove it in Bathurst. Yeah, I think we'll go one click up on the TC. I think slightly Even though we have understeer out of the corners, the car is also having wheel spin issues. Yeah, what I wanted to say is like we have here in, compared to R Factor 2, you have I think 3 layouts of the road course. You have the old 2007 layout. You have the, sorry, but I'm also trying to get around the circuit at this point. Seems the GT3s have a lot more easier time for that corner. What is it saying? 49 despite my excursion, but probably also saved me some time. Despite all of it. Still not enough. Jesus Christ. What do I need to do? It's like I need to brake before the 500 mark even. To stop the car in time. Oh, the brakes are very long here. Also, the GT3s are not making the track easier to learn right now. But yeah, we're using, if I can finally finish a sentence, in R Factor 2 we have 3 different layouts of the circuit. I think the more modern layouts, the 2013 and 2014, both use the IndyCar chicane. I think both of them. They have slightly different final corners. Both of them don't use the oval. But they are slightly different. Whoa. I don't know how you were able to spin there, but sure, I will take it. I need to also brake very early for that corner. But yeah, both of them have the cut corner, but they have slightly different layouts. One uses the IndyCar pit lane, the other one uses the F1 pits. And then you have different, like the back straight, the after back straight section is slightly different. But the 2007 uses still the banked oval, and this weird squiggly section that we're heading in now, this dogleg here. Oh, come on, brakes. Don't let me down right now. And re-enters here. That has like 2 hairpins after each other here, which is one of the worst sections ever. So yeah, this is much better with this like S section here. But you have to snake yourself through. And then you drive obviously in the D07 layout, the full banking, full speed. It is fun. Right, when you brake before the first braking mark, you can actually make these corners. Surprise, surprise. Lifted a bit too much. So what will it be? 47.2. Slightly off my corner. But I think there's a lot more time in there. If I finally am able to like compose myself. Figure out how this car takes this track. Does it have to few laps here, obviously, not just the overlayouts. The road course as well. For a few years. You can pass me on the right. Oh, you're finally coming by. I know you're there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Yellow flag in sector 1.
Why did he take so long on the straight to pass me? He was barely faster at all. Yeah, overshot slightly. Not even much of an advantage by trying to stay flat here. Definitely dealing with quite a bit of understeer. Oh, hey, sorry. Although you didn't leave me much reminder. If you hadn't dived out of the way, I would have rammed you for that. Unironically, I would have just rammed you off the road there at that corner. Being that stupid. Right, I'm looking at my tire pressures now. Should have looked at them earlier. Ooh, hello Ballwinkle. No, McConnell. I guess it was Ballwinkle based on that. It's a Ferrari, but I guess that's racist. Oh well, we're currently the fastest GT4.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Yeah, massively off the pace this time around. My front tires are 0.5 off. Actually, my right rear is also 0.5 off, and rear left is 1 off. Also, the front left is slightly warm. I think that, however, fixes itself once I increase the tire pressures. I think that one is a just tire pressure problem. With low tire pressures, that just overheats itself. .9 1. So.
Green light, show them what you got.
Okay, temperatures have gone up even further. So we do open up the brake ducts, I think, yet now. Gonna take the rear wing off the car completely. Raise the rear right side, I think. Also, we're gonna put 2 TC into the car. So I'm gonna go there. 2 TC. I'll also run qualifying fuel. I think I'll leave the steering rack actually above 15. I think that's valid. I can say I soften the front springs a bit. Not sure it will help much. I think the right side does more help in this sense. Getting the car to behave. It's not in the transitory loads, it's in the just static load on the throttle out of the corners. It's starting to struggle. From this, I think we can also like reduce the toe perhaps to deal with these. You can't even put negative toe on the MUQU, at least not on this track. I think that might be a limitation on this track. Because setups can be limited track, because you can limit the setup, the extent of the setup can be limited track to track in ACC. Right. I think we might have split qualifying here and I have not noticed it. MUQU for India 1. Should probably save it later. Irrelevant. Yeah, only GT4's out.
Low tire pressure, stay clear of the curbs.
I would have done mixed quality with 15 minutes, although, I mean, I don't have GT3s breathing down my neck for a few minutes, so I guess that's something. I mean, at least tell me we can, like, use a lot of grid slots on this track, that this track has also, like... great. Let me deal with that for a moment. I don't have moderators and I need to deal with that manually. There's ideas on this channel. So I hope that works because there's no ban. There was only timeout available. I want this guy gone. It doesn't help with just putting him on timeout or something. Right, okay. Well, in any case.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
Oh, there's marker boards on the outside of this corner. Didn't even know.
Yellow flag ahead, watch out.
I was about to say, does that mean you can actually like drive the oval turn? No, you can't because there's a tire barrier in between. For someone to just short through the oval. Still unfortunate with ACC that we don't get alternative layouts for our tracks. We just get the layout that SRO uses. You know, short layout on the Nürburgring would be kind of cool. Or Silverstone National. Still alien to me that the entire track is there open. Okay, 45.5 now being lapped by McDonald is definitely a sign of battle here. That is like a 1.2 second improvement over practice. I don't know what was sent in text chat right now. Maybe they only give us like 5 minutes as GT4s to qualify. No! Got deleted! It would have been a 46 anyway. Like, where suddenly these guys are getting lap time so much? Because in practice they were nowhere, and suddenly in qualifying they're like, hey, it's lap multiple seconds faster. No, brakes, no! No! Again invalidated! For fucking sakes, can I just get one valid lap in? 2 times these bloody 2 corners have eliminated my lap time. It seems everybody's now returned to the pits, and I don't know if there's still qualifying going on for me. Ah, so annoying. Yeah, the GT3s are out. Clearly it's no longer for me. I don't know why these guys got lap time suddenly. I don't know. Ah, this is so annoying. I got no lap time in the end. 45-2. Where did these guys suddenly get lap time so much? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Come on, I have set lap times. At least let me view those. Might have not set a single valid one, but I can still see my invalids. Fucking sucks. This sucks a lot. Like, I was decent. I had escaped. I don't know why he's bitching, because I had escaped. I'd started my lap. I guess I'd started my lap after the halfway point, I guess. So my lap wasn't even counting anymore, but like, whatever. I wasn't getting in the way of any GT3, so like... As long as I'm not in the way of anyone, you can't bitch and moan about it. It's like, I just exist. One more time. It was clear afterwards that there wasn't any time anymore. Like, fucking hell, I was so unlucky with my track limits twice taking my lap times away. But also, I'm so slow, it doesn't make sense. Where did all these guys like suddenly go 2 seconds faster? And my car just isn't doing that. What are they doing? I hate that stuff. When people just pull lap time out of their ass. It's just like, thanks. I would like the same. Shut up. Alright. And it's tight actually lap time wise in the front. 45.2 was like the fastest time. And I definitely wasn't touching that. I was still in the 46s from the 2 laps that I got in. That didn't count either of them. I would have qualified in front of Fuchs, but that doesn't matter much. Still last. Effectively. Okay. Well, let's just start off the back of the GT4 grid. Not that it matters much. There's like 5 cars, so not like much of a loss. But very infuriating, that situation. Tires did get up to pressure and everything. The pressures looked quite fine. Honestly, so nothing in that sense should cause problems. Yeah, it's very frustrating when suddenly people pull 2 seconds out of the ass. And I'm like, left puzzling, like, where? Where is it suddenly come from? Is the track like more rubbered in and they can profiteer of it, but I can't? Like, what is it? To be very frank about it. Why is there so many fucking pings? For God's... Can I remove that roll that gives me this fucking... that I need to listen to constantly, the blabbering on the PC roll? But then, when did I add the PC roll on that Discord? Because I want the PC roll gone. Because it's going on my nerves how many times they just like ping everyone on the PC roll. Like, hey, there's another stream. Like, no, I don't want to watch your stream. Thank you very much. Like, your race broadcast is not that particularly interesting, especially while I'm myself streaming. I have other things in this mode to do. Maybe another day. Okay, there's Daniel Craig starting in front of me with his McLaren. Great, awesome. And maybe I need to actually close my brake ducts to get the brakes to actually function. Maybe I'm unlock cooling my brakes. Yeah, it's not that hot. Although we're running like already a very low tire pressure, so I would say. We'll see what we do for the race. It's a bit later, so... Car's not stopping is the problem, and I don't have a solution for the problem. Oh yeah, right. They always put the grid. The first guy joins the furthest way down the grid, the pit lane, closest to the pit exit. So they don't even use the full pit lane here. Could have at least like given each car a bit more space, you know. Stop cramming us into this area here. Well, that means we probably also only have like 50 grid slots here, so. Considering I was also one of the last people to join here, and we're just at 28 cars. So we probably also only have 50, which is... You could say unfortunate. When's the race gonna start? Well, in about a minute or so. Actually, a bit more because we have the pre-quad time, but we'll end of qualifying. We're just waiting for qualifying to close out finally. And then we can finally go on to race. Right, we're on the grid now. It'll take another 2 minutes before we finally get rolled off. That's about it. I'll leave the rear tires alone. And we need to prove that we can actually produce proper pace, because well, qualifying just didn't go my way. Practice I was the fastest GT4. By like a bit. Like half a second or so. And then the other guys came into qualifying, just slammed 2 seconds off their lap time. And I was just like, thanks. Also, I wasn't able to put a single valid lap time in. Which is why I'm starting last. In the GT4 field. Brilliant. Alright then, we have fuel in the car. Yeah, right. But I mean, I'm expecting Monza turn 1 here. This track is notoriously bad with this shit. Yeah, 30 minutes. Yep, gonna need it. I expected a bit better from the car, and I don't know where suddenly I'm losing so much time.
30 seconds.
As I said, the guys just suddenly went... I was high 46s in practice. I'm sure there was a bit more time in there, but like... But like in qualifying, I was also like... The 2 invalid laps I put in were like 46 or something, although they both had massive errors in the last 2 corners. Which caused them to invalidate. Still, that should have been faster. Would have still been on the back of the field if I hadn't slid wide in both of them. Yep. Unfortunate. The car's not quite as good as it was in Bathurst. But I mean, it's a really good car in Bathurst, so... That's why. I recently tried the Porsche. This car. I would have qualified the Porsche driver in front of me, and I would have obviously been in front of the McLaren. But hey, that guy needs to anyway get by all of us if he isn't intending to DNF before the race starts. Yeah, I think an issue that I have put over here is a bit long brake pedal of my car. Brake pedal feels a bit long. The issue is stopping at times. The layout, you aren't particularly familiar with, most likely, because this is a bit weird compared to the layouts we have in RH2. We feature here, so far it's obviously normal. Right, but instead of going over the IndyCar chicane, we're going right. And we're heading down this chute that was used on the 2007 layout. I think maybe on the 2013 as well still, but not sure. I'm definitely sure the 2014 doesn't have it. The 2014 uses the IndyCar chicane. Here you can use the full track width. There's no track limits. Does not have track limits, which is interesting. And yeah, we have obviously the 2014 section there that isn't the double hairpin. Thank bloody goodness. And then we have also the 2014 end of the lap. So, wait, where's the GT3 among the GT4 cars? That's 720s. He didn't set a valid qualifying time like me. Neither of us set a valid qualifying time. There were only 15 minutes of qualifying, and they did split qualifying, so you actually had only 7.5 minutes per class, which, you know, might cause some issues.
Green light. Give it all you got.
I'm surprised we sort of actually got through turn 1 alive. I was expecting to see at least 2 GT3s facing the wrong way there. Seems, however, the GT4 pole sitter, which was the Alpine, has lost all the positions.
Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Can actually dive up the inside of that corner. Ooh! Yodi broke very early there. Chevy is a bit wide.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Oh!
Light damage at the rear.
Fuck off! I'm pretty sure I gave him just enough room, but he might have still clipped the bloody curb there. Porsche got held up with him. Yeah, I'm dealing with a lot of understeer in some places, and there's not much I can do setup-wise to stop it. The car was really pointy at Bathurst. It was really good there. You dealt with very minimal understeer actually, but you have very few setup options on the MUQU to trim the car in. You don't have... You have right height, I guess, which I've used already a bit. You have the rear wing, which I've chopped off the car already. Not even joking. The car doesn't have a rear... I mean, the car has a rear wing, but like, it's a low setting already. Wait, the Porsche? Pretty sure an Audi hit me on the inside. Pretty sure it was an Audi that was up my inside and clipped me to spin me around.
There's a slow car ahead.
Huh? I need to look at the replay then. Because then I'm not gonna be forgiving if the Porsche, because the Porsche was long past. Like, the Porsche was far back, he shouldn't have ever gotten involved here. Yeah, if this. 45.5 from the guys in front. What are we gonna get? 45.7 actually. So we're not completely off the pace, actually the pace is there. Which is neat to know. Although the problem is, we're not going massively quicker than the cars in front either. So... coming back in this race is gonna be a mild challenge. Although 3rd place will be a bit of a freebie, I guess. How much track cutting can you get away there with? Apparently you can get away with that much. Five.
Fastest lap so far.
The damage is probably minimal from that. Let me actually check how much damage I'm carrying. 3 seconds. It would, if I had a pit stop, it would cost me 3 seconds. That's nothing. That's not worth at all repairing. Like, you would maybe do it in the Duro, but even in a sprint race with a mandatory pit stop, you might just not even repair that. Because it's not worth it. You're not losing time. ACC is up to a certain point very forgiving with damage. Although that's set up to a certain point. Because if you take enough damage, your car will be massively slowed down. It's not just, oh, you have to drive with a slightly bent steering wheel. No, 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 they will genuinely just basically stop you. But overtaking is gonna be fun because the Alpine doesn't seem to be that slow on the straights.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
I'm sorry, but my car's a lot of understeer to deal with.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
We are gaining on the guys in front again. How long do I actually left in this race? "21 minutes. Yeah, I can't get the run on this Alpine. That's a bit annoying. I'm massively back before I enter every straightaway. But I can't keep up with him for some reason. And that's the strange part. Oh, I messed up this corner. If you don't nail the turning point there, you're losing a lot of time. Now the Alpine has streaked away.
Car in front in sector 3.
We've closed down the Chevy. understeer and oversteer at the same time. Yeah, that comes from me trying to drive around the understeer. But yeah, this thing on this track specifically, like on throttle wants to oversteer, but also understeer. It's really hilarious. But we're actually in the process of closing down the GT4 leader again. Well, the Alpine driver is definitely not slow. And we're definitely struggling from a lot of like, this thing has a detached front the anti-roll bar on the front is at 0. The rear is at 1. Per default. That is in the default setup already done. The rear wing ships with 2, I took it down to 1. This is the lowest setting you can take the rear wing to. I've risen the rear right height a bit. But we're starting to actually lose pace right now. Starting a bit to bleed pace. Yeah, as I'm saying, the odd issue is this car didn't have it at Bathurst. Like, it was a dream to drive at Bathurst. Thing like, you pointed it into a corner and it just went. As I said, you don't have many options with the setup. You don't have what you have with a lot of GT3 cars, the bump stop range, which is effectively just adjusting packers, which in a lot of the default setups is way too low on the front. No, you don't have an adjustment for that on this car. You have basically unlimited right height front and rear. You don't have the option to stop the car from weight transferring to the front or back excessively, which is a neat feature to easily increase a bit of, to get bit rid of understeer into corners, or get rid of like on throttle understeer with the Porsche, for example, the Cup car. Very powerful adjustment there. But yeah, you don't have that. You have 3 spring settings for the front suspension and none for the rear. Like, 0. You could not adjust the rear suspension. You can adjust the dampers, but only the slow ones. The fast are adjusted with it. You have a few options there, but we're not having really damper issues, I would say. Perhaps a few clicks out of the front could help, but not much. Our large problem is sustained mid-corner understeer. And you have like 3 options for ARB front and rear. From 0, 1 and 2. We're right now running 0, 1. On the car. Rear wing, you do have a lot of options, but none of them are sensible, because frankly, find me a circuit where I need more than 1 wing on this car. Okay, granted, I haven't driven a circuit with many high-speed corners yet. That actually, like, you know, don't cause massive understeer like this. Final corner here. And I'm really scared of running in the back of that Alpine in front. This car should be faster through the corners than me, but clearly he has corner exit speeds on me in a lot of cases, but he doesn't have really their straight line speed as well on me somehow, which I should be faster than him. But I'm somehow better on the brakes, despite I'm feeling like I'm struggling a lot on the brakes. But I guess I brake too late. But I'm carrying the lap time still, so it's like... I don't know. Wouldn't guarantee it. Some of them might actually know what they're doing. Especially the leading Audi is a really decent driver. Not too sure about the others. Ooh. The understeer I get there is like... Oh, I think maybe it's dirty air, but it's like always the scapegoat for some people. And it's like, GT4 with dirty air? Like, what is this? But considering this car is struggling to turn at all to begin with, add some dirty air to it, this probably never will turn. Again. Should have probably... Nah, the Maserati would have been hell here. We have the massive braking zone into turn 1, that would have been hell with the Maserati. Outside of that, it's probably like these... We have multiple... Okay, we have the race leaders coming down on us. That's gonna get spicy in a second. The race leader is just tearing his hair out.
Car on the left. Faster car approaching. Watch out. Clear on the left.
I'm just waiting to wear that Alpine as a hood ornament. Yeah, I nailed this time around the line. This time we can attack. If we get some slipstream though, and they're already too wide and the Alpine is running out of steam.
Faster car coming up behind you.
It's very difficult to pass for some reason on the circuit. Perhaps it's just me with a car that understeers like crazy? Because yes, the circuit isn't too easy to pass on, but like, it's possible even in an LMP2. It's very much pass on it.
Clear on the left.
Oh, come on, turn!
Car on the right.
353 is coming through. And there's more!
Car on the right. Faster car behind you. Clear on the right.
No, you do not have the right to flash me. Like, fuck off. I gave you more than enough room to live. I'm slamming that door shut. I'm not taking any prisoners with you, Porsche driver.
Clear on the right.
You get that back. Stop being blind there.
Faster car coming up behind. Watch out.
Didn't have much understeer either. And he's gonna get some slipstream as well from the Alpine in front. It seems I do not get any straight line speed. The top speed just isn't there.
Car on the left.
He was early on the brakes, luckily. What was that? He lagged into the back of me there.
Car on the right.
What?
On the right. Faster car coming up behind you.
What's going on here? No, you're not getting past here. I'm busy right now. Right, we're back to having to pass the Alpine.
Car on the right.
That was not nice for me, but it worked. I just needed to get by him, finally. He's not slow by any stretch, but like at times he wasn't going fast enough for me. Yeah, it's not nice, but like, try passing here for fuck's sakes. You've been here. Especially if you have brakes that are like rubber at times. So now it's Marita in front with the Audi. Hey, you get so much wheel spin. Let me just rejoin the track. Yeah, no. Marita's Romanian. No, fuck off BMW driver, you don't have right of way just because of your silly logo on the front of your steering wheel. Actually, yeah, I think it's in the steering wheel as well, the new Beamer. We did close down Marita still on that lap. And the Alpine is actually back on my gearbox again after that last pass. Oh, they sent the body wide there. I think he actually rally crossed there. No, that's not a GT2 Audi, that's a Audi Evo 2. Fuck me! Some GT3s need to learn to chill. Like, oh boy. That not more people have been wrecked by them is like a miracle. I know that it's the Audi Evo 2 with the odd rear wing support. It is otherwise, besides the rear wing. Oh. Get the fuck out of the way, you stupid GT3. How long do we have? 5 minutes actually. This is gonna get close. I think Marita was losing most of his time with the traffic.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
In large bursts, it's just I hadn't been lucky with the traffic either. I have now an Alpine looking down my neck. And now he's waiting his time when he's finally passed me. Like, what is this GT3 asshole doing? Like, suddenly he's able to wait once he's by me. He waited like 3 corners before he overtook the Audi. That's just silly. Like, absolute BS. Average Acura driver. No, least aggressive Acura driver be like. I don't know what the song name actually in that meme is. Because the meme is so popular that basically nobody's even sourcing the song anymore. Unfortunately. No, I'm defensive. You're not going up my inside at this point anymore. Yeah, the Alpine has stepped up his game now. And he's really, I think his strength is just he has better exit speeds. And that's why he can carry on to the straights a lot of speed. But I think he might just run out of top end at the end of the straight. Still gaining on the guy in front. And we have more GT3s barreling down on us.
Faster car coming up behind you. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Ha! Fucking idiot. I nearly drove you into the fucking wall there. Because I understeered enough that I have to lift to avoid driving you guys into the wall there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
We probably have either 1 or 2 more laps most likely here to go at this point. You think you're never gonna stop and the car just about pulls up. It's insane. It's scary as fuck.
Faster car is approaching.
Ugh.
Clear on the left.
Nearly gets nuked by the Porsche.
Car on the right.
Oh no!
Right, man. The leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the right. 3 wide. All clear. Clear on the right.
Fucking bullshit, got nuked by the Porsche driver. Oh fuck, what is this bullshit? 2 people intentionally hit me. 2 people intentionally hit me. Like, what is this BS? I take the lead in the class after Reuter gets eliminated, and then we basically go for Carmageddon. Alright, we have one more lap actually to go. And the Porsche driver's in the runoff over there.
Yellow flag, be careful there. The leader has finished the race.
Oh fuck, my frames are dropping. I'm seeing dropped frames now. What the fuck is going on? My internet's dying, it seems. Right now. It's not the stream only, it's actually the my entire internet connection is dying. Now this is a slapstick comedy if there has been ever. It's sort of half holding on right now still, so we're gonna just crawl to the finish line at this point. Save the replay and then absolutely have it in for these guys. Like, fuck off. The Porsche that, like, basically came down on me after I decided to, like, body check him. Because he had done the same. He had done the same with me. He had body checked me in the previous corner out of the way. It's like, I'm not gonna fucking take this bullshit. Marita, you're not intentionally wrecking me here. I did not wreck you. I very much did not do that.
Well managed. Bring it back home safely.
The only two people that can have beef with me is the bloody Porsche driver, and the Porsche driver caused beef with me. So let's be very blunt about that. There were more people collected because of the accident, but that's the Porsche driver's fault. He escalated it to the point where it's off. Multiple cars got collected there. Let's open the replay. We need to probably solve my internet connection because fuck this shit. Like, it's starting to drop all the packets now. Why do we have the collision? One, we have to look at actually end of lap 1 collision. What happened here? Oh yeah, it was the Porsche driver. Fuchs, for fuck's sakes. Like, I had cleared him. I thought I had still at the inside, but no, it would have been a tight fit, but Fuchs just drilled in the back of McDonald, and that was the position that was me sent around. That's why it was such a just violent plonk on the rear axle that just suddenly hit me around. And yeah, we're still dropping frames. There I get hit by Qualy. Drive into this corner and just be like, bomb. Not gonna entertain this BS. And then he rejoins and just takes all of us out there. And there was Bogdan and Krejci alongside me and just drilled into the side and took, at minimum, Krejci and me, or however you pronounce this bloody name first. I mean, it breaks the Unicode right now as well. Bogdan here, yep. Bogdan just about survived. He was the only one to come out alive with this one. Yeah, I think, however, I don't know how intentional it was from Koifel. He definitely had an aggressive rejoin there, but I'm not sure it was intentionally just driving across the road then. Yeah, he put too much throttle down here, lost it, and then rejoined at this angle. And then that was just 4 cars getting squished. Like, that wasn't intentional from him, I would say, fully. I can show that again. We have a bit of time before the next race. But yeah. yeah, we have a bit of time before the next server goes live. It will go in 15 minutes. I can actually say it's scheduled for in 15 minutes. So we have a few minutes before the next server goes live. Right, something SGP. Yep, 15 minutes for the next server. We're signed up again for GT4. Maffei, who won the race in the end, the Italian, is signed up as well. Crici is signed up again. Maroita is signed up again. All in the same cars as the McConnell is signed up again. All in the same cars as before, driving all the that they did this race. So that's we have a rematch at COTA. Maybe the car is not suffering from that much on this. I think, however, I will be taking most likely to 15 minutes to fix my stream because fuck, my internet is dying. It's really dying right now. I'm dropping packets like this. Regularly there's just packets going completely away. So let's see. But yeah, the GT3 driving quality was absolutely atrocious at times. Granted, I mean, if you have as much understeer as I had, you would have hell of a time getting past the GT4s as well. But I'm pretty sure most GT3s weren't dealing with my handling problems. Boom. That was me nuked. Yeah. Right, but we wanted to look... we wanted to look what happened here. Right. Alright, starting the final lap. And penultimate lap, actually. In the lead of the class. I don't know how much it's gonna get actually through with package being lost all over the place. It's always happening in bursts, it's not constantly happening. But having seen here, the Audi goes fully off the road, the GT3 just rejoins and just goes plonk. And then we have a massive package drop. Please stop for a moment so we can actually watch it again. Watch it a few times just so it's like once on the screen working. The thing is, I did before I started the stream, like restarted my repeater, like checked stuff. There, bomb Porsche in the back of me. And I'm just like, bruh. The second impact wasn't intentional. First, I didn't intend to hit him the second time. First one was just like, yep. It's just, the result of the first impact was I'm gonna understeer him into the second one, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, we can watch again the Audi getting eliminated here from my POV. It's just like, bye bye, have a great time. And then bomb. And yeah. And then here I get hit by... I don't know how intentional that was. Bomb. Spins me around again. And then I nearly eliminate the... Oh, that was so close. That would have been so stupid if I had eliminated the Chevy as well. Just to add insult to injury. And then I just decided, like, fuck this shit, you took me out intentionally. I'm not gonna even bother overtaking you. And apparently you can't get away with cutting that. I didn't even get a cut track for that. Probably the lap got invalidated, but like I didn't like I got scored and everything correctly. Right. Right, and we've looked at, I mean we can look other points in the race when we had to deal with some GT3 traffic. It was definitely very difficult for me to pass anything. Cars, so much understeer. Right, we have another 10 minutes or so on break. I will briefly take this opportunity to restart my internet, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure I'm having connection problems. We're gonna briefly, before we restart parts of my internet, do a speed test and do 2 speed tests and see where the problem lies. Yes, I'm doing a speed test while I'm streaming. It's big brain. Download of about 800 megabit per second from my network. The full gigabit connection upstream to my server box. All of that is working, so the connection to the server box is working. And as soon as I hit the speed test here, let's see, what do we get here? Yeah, but we're starting to drop frames even before the actual like speed test runs. Damn, my downstream test is taking dropping frames. Is like, what? 200 milliseconds of connection ping. How even? How did that happen? Like, that should never happen. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the speeds are totally fine that I'm getting. I'm getting half of what I should get upstream, but I'm also streaming right now, so I know all of this is fine. The downstream is completely in order. What isn't in order is their 292 millisecond ping to Frankfurt. Like, that is never, under any circumstance, okay. Right, who pinged me, actually? Oh, it's not someone related to this race. Why is Waited dying? Wait. I opened the chat and like send. Yeah, I will. I can't restart the router because probably I get axed by the other inhabitants of the house. Most likely gonna do that at like 2 AM. I think then nobody will be. Brother leaves for work at midnight, and then like, nobody should be awake at 2 AM. Okay. But yeah, the connections. I think I could do with another repeater. One thing that I wanted to like check, because as I said, like my home network is interestingly set up with having a my computer and my server being connected to a switch that's upstairs, and then a repeater connects downstairs to the main router. And I've been restarting that repeater a lot recently. Check for updates. Oh, there's a new version for my repeater available. It's I mean, if their version numbering is anything to go, they have like 5 new hotfix updates on that one. I guess I could flash it briefly, but I have like right now 4 minutes remaining. I hope that comes through on the... Let's briefly switch scenes so I can see when the stream updates. And then I will be right back once I update that. Right. Well then, let's try this again. I've updated the repeater. I've restarted mine. I've restarted it as well, and we should be back now finally. Now, yeah, I read you writing that like the stream seems fine. I can definitely tell you that we were dropping frames at the end. The problem is the percentage dropped frames was like not particular. Like it was at like 1%, 1.7 was going up there, and but that doesn't mean much because like most of the stream up until that point we didn't have drop frames. So when we started having them suddenly, it was a bit of a deal. So the percentage was probably closer to like what 10%. And if you're watching at like 30 FPS anyway, you're not even noticing that most likely. And maybe the audio survived completely that. And none of the audio data got lost, but like only the frame data got lost, and it just smoothed it all together. Occasionally YouTube does make these things work surprisingly well. Very surprisingly well, it sometimes does. Hello, could we kindly get this to work? Because I'm pretty sure everything is... Yeah, stream is working. So, right. Okay then. Let's switch back. The server should be starting to go live now. The next server. For the final race at COTA this time around. Well then. Why do I have the SRXP in this got? Because I want to bitch a bit about what the fuck just happened here. Okay, some cons wanted to complain about Käufer. I don't know why cons wanted to complain about Käufer. Right. Okay. I can probably check now in game and log into the server. Right. And no, we don't want to start this campaign season. Thank you. So, fetching server list. All looks fine here. SRXP. No, the server is not up yet. We're needing 5 servers actually. There's some practice servers up, but not the race server actually. It's still taking time. So let's see again. Probably the worst track in the US. Well, I mean, I'm not the enemy of it really too much. Right, okay, servers up. We will have a way smaller grid, I can already tell. Because there were, I think, there were only 17 people signed up for this one, I think. Probably not more have signed up since I last checked, so... Compared to the 28 grid we had on the last track. But that was only 28 cars, you have to consider. Yes, we were only 5 GT4s, but that's still like 24 GT3s. And they were causing that much carnage continuously. Like, usually when you have a short race, they get through the grid once, the GT3s. Also that with half an hour, we got lapped by the GT3 leader, actually. And not just the GT3 leader, by a bunch of GT3s as well. Like, usually in a half an hour, you get, like, maybe lapped by the GT3 leader. No one more. It's really interesting, actually. Right, we want to close, actually, the brake ducts up. Maybe I had my brake ducts too much open, and that's why I had issues with the brakes. The setup actually looks very similar to the Indy setup, I must say. From a glance here. Where I have the front suspension set on the middle setting. The rear anti-roll bar is set to 1. Even the preload is the same, the steering rack is the same. TC setting is at 1 here and ABS at 3. I think that was the same as well. Do I keep the tire pressures? I think I will keep them for now. Yeah, I think I will keep most things now, and we'll just test the car out and see how much understeer I will experience. Right.
Low tire pressure, stay clear of the curbs.
We do have a 51 millisecond ping actually to the server. I don't know where the server's then hosted. If I have 51 milliseconds. I mean, they often host in Ireland, but I should have a bit better ping for Ireland, I guess. Whatever. At least it's working. I'm not suddenly shooting up to like 200 or something. Oh hey, look who I have behind me. Jesus, oh god!
Car on the right.
This is gonna be hell. I can already tell. I should have brought my Maserati. This would have been like way easier actually. And ironically, the Maserati is a really good car in medium speed corners. It's a bloody killer there. Low speed hates it because you can't stop the car for corners. How the hell did we end up in the middle of the GT4 field when I came out of the pits? It's a bunch of straights and slow corners, and GT3s are way faster there. They aren't that much faster actually down the straightaways than us. But they're probably faster on like shorter straights, because they get better acceleration out of the corners, but top speed GT3s are not that much faster. I did have in, I think, practice where a GT3 struggled to clear me down to... down the back straight. Like he went alongside me out of the corner and then just didn't get by me. Took him the entire straight to clear me. I was just waiting for him to finally flash by me, but it just wasn't. Probably because he wasn't carrying as much. Okay, this corner is... I said too early something. Fuck. I was about to say, like, oh, this corner is actually pretty far. No, it wasn't. God, how much understeer can someone put in a race car? Yeah, I'm not the biggest hater, I think, of COTA. I've driven it a few times. I missed the apex there by like 2 miles. Actually, I have to slightly lift through there. Okay, that was a track limit immediately. So you have to stay within, I think, the white lines here. You can't use the curbing, yeah, fully without getting track limited. Sausage curb at least doesn't stop the GT4 stops. In this corner is evil when you forget about it. Man, I'm slow right now. And this thing is really not making it easy. I have thought of like using this my new main for GT4 and running the next season of the SRXP League with GT4s with this. I wasn't impressed with the performance of this car at Laguna, with the Porsche at Laguna Seca when I drove it. It really wasn't that fun to drive, it was quite awful, and now we're driving Understeer Central MUQU.
Clear on the right.
And I do not know how the hell to stop that shit. As I said, we have very limited setup adjustments on the MUQU. I could soften the front springs. It's one of the adjustments that I have available. I didn't do it last time around. But I guess I could do that. Obviously stiffen the rear anti-roll bar all the way. Take the rear wing back out of it. Raise the rear right height massively so we get a lot of rake on the car. Which that helps a lot with like the what is it called? The forgot its name. The right engineering. That one really profiteers a lot from having a lot of rake. That car really loves its rake. You can easily get it to stop understeering massively for the high-speed cars by just raking it up. Granted, you're still not going that fast for high-speed stuff, but hey. It's better than the default provides you.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
Oh, I got that track limited there. I can tell already, COTA is a track limit hell. Because the curbs do not count to the track. Misano they do,
Clear on the left.
but at COTA they seem to not have included the striped curbs as tracks within the track limits. Which is hell, because you do... Because putting a lap time in that way is like absolute hellish. And hey, the guy in front of me is the only guy who has set actually a valid lap so far. But who knows, a lot of these could have actually practiced on the server before the event. Well, I'm actually learning the track. Yeah. Damn. Completely understood there. Just look at it, it's not willing to turn ever. How the fuck does this car work at Bathurst, but like here it does not wanna work at all? Do they have like special BOP on this car for these tracks? It's just fuck the MUQU. Take the toe out completely out of the rear. No toe. Increase negative toe on the front. I would say increase camber as well on the front, I guess. Might be an idea. Reduce camber on the rear. Stiffen rear anti-roll bar. Raise rear right height substantially. Take a rear wing out of the car. Yeah, imagine practicing Lamar. Yeah, true. Yeah, I think this car is the same setup actually for all of the tracks. They didn't bother making different setups. At least for the, not for the MUQU. Do I want to run softer springs on the front? Let's just try this, I think. I've done a turnaround on this car. Setup-wise, I think.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Like, there's a lot of changes here with like camber and stuff that could help. Because I have free rein with the camber and toe. Although not that much free rein, we can't put negative toe on the rear. Which that would probably help us actually. With how much we're struggling with getting the car to turn, especially out of corners. Although it's still willing to understeer so much, it just doesn't want to stop pushing over the poor front axle. Whoa, and this... Oh, I think I've created something in oversteers now. I think this very much competes this car with the KTM at Snetterton. The difference is the KTM has still a shit ton of setup options available. So when you suddenly have understeer on the KTM, you're just like, well, I can turn like 13,000 screws and get the thing to perhaps turn a bit. Because the Snetterton setup on the KTM is like, let's just say, how that thing isn't killing you with oversteer is a surprise, because you basically have to trim oversteer into it at every single turn. At every opportunity you get, like, you need to put oversteer into the car. Maybe we do need to increase the TC setting again. I think it did something, but not. Oh yeah, that suddenly like actually somewhat turned. But it could be actually me nailing my lines. Because I've noticed that as well, like if you take the correct lines, the car actually will suddenly turn. If you're a millimeter off your line, you're just like, oh, I got straight. But if you get your weight completely turned correctly, the thing will suddenly actually make corners. A bit more TC could help there. Maybe I need to close down the window because I think a thunderstorm might be coming. How good this lap is. At least in this corner, I'm not braking so much early as the braking mark indicates. So I am fighting still quite a bit of unlist here.
Session is now over.
Let's just say I went 1.2 seconds faster than the next GT4 car there. Yeah, we have way less people. It's so unfortunate that people suddenly like went, well, I guess it's... I mean, it's 2300, I guess. That's why. It's getting late for people who are actually, like, you know... It's getting reasonably late. You know, I think I can just continue Qualy on, like, race configuration at this point. Like, it matters much. I want to try more things for the setup. I think there's more stuff to be earned here. Temperatures have gone up again. Similarly like they did in... Get in the last track, right. I don't have any values from the last run, however, with temperatures and stuff, how they distributed over the tire. Let's try something. We're gonna put more caster into the front. It's gonna make the steering heavier. Which, I mean, the steering is relatively heavy already on this car. There's camber on the rear. Like a baby of TC into it. I think I'll leave the springs alone. I think those are fine. Slightly raised ride height is probably good as well. Yeah, I mean, definitely the other GT4s are out on track.
Low tire pressure. Stay clear of the curves.
Well, I didn't adjust my tire pressure, so look. Should have adjusted those down a bit. But yeah, this is track limit hell for sure. And you don't have that many laps actually in this quali session because it's 7 minute 30 and the lap times are very long.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
There's a yellow flag. For who is this yellow flag being called? The ABS is firing the entire braking zone there, so that's a bit iffy. That shouldn't be happening. I mean, I understand, like, you fucking up once and getting DQ'd and then un-DQ'd. And being, like, caught out by that. But then you look at the chat and should be like, wait a second, what is going on? to lift a bit there. Not to run off the track completely. I don't know for what the yellow flag is there. First time. Come on. Undershot the corner actually. I'm messing up so many corners. P3 only. 1.5 seconds off the pace. Again, these people just suddenly be like 1.5 seconds faster. And I'm just like, how? Then you just like suddenly pull that time out of their asses. I'm just like, how? Ah, that was my last attempt. Where is 1.5 seconds on this track? Like, that may be particularly blunt. Okay, if you're not undershooting the corner completely, because you're braking way too early, would help. No, I'll just start for the laps, but I can still finish the lap still, just to get an idea. Like where I'm losing time and stuff. I think mine is worse, because he is faster still than me.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
Pace is my Achilles heel, it's been always. Yeah, and I'm not gaining any time, I'm going the same pace, precisely. Like, fucking hell, what is this? Like, I was slow in the qualifying for the last race by quite a bit, but I wasn't able to put a lap together there. And this time I was able to put a lap together, and I'm not going faster. Okay, there's like half a second, I guess, in there. Pull over with slightly overpressured tires, but it's fine. It's still within the realm of. And I have functional brakes, which is the most important part. Like, I can actually really stop for corners. I wouldn't say any of these guys are actually aliens. They're not that good. Quite a few of them, at least, are not good. Right, we actually have like temperature readouts, like how they're distributed, and like despite me running like crazy camber values, yeah, they look incredibly even, especially on the rear axle. Yeah, and on the front as well. And it's completely within the realm of like your reasonability for that. Even slightly over cambered still in the rear. Although granted, I was running with like actually race fuel. Well, else might have been running quality fuel, but that shouldn't make too much of a difference in GT4s. Still, I mean, I was able in Bathurst to not get close at all with my race fuel. And then the race was quicker, so I have to see. Alright, now I'm just gonna jack the rear right out a bit further up. A lot of cast on the car. We can, interestingly enough, change the bump stop rate for the for the suspension, but like you never actually will hit the bump stop on this car. You just never. That won't happen. Gas suspension will bottom out. I mean, I could max out the bump stop rate in the rear, I guess. Probably won't do anything though. Maximum stiffness in the rear. I could soften still the front springs. That's the one thing, but I haven't rolled that dice. Right. MUQU 4. COTA 1. Safe. Okay. Well then. I mean, where am I actually losing time? Because this time I can actually figure it out. Half a second off to in sector 1. That's why I'm losing immediately half a second. Half a second in the final sector. And I'm 2/10 off the fastest time in sector 2. But actually half a second off P2 in that sector. He's faster there than me. Or, yeah, that's only his fastest lap in that case. He put all the fastest sectors into the fastest lap. The fastest guy in GT4 is also put all of us in one lap. All of us had only one flyer, effectively, so it's not telling much, I would say. I mean, we could check practice. 29.8 there in the first sector from him. This is 26.0 final. I went slower now in free practice than I actually went in qualifying. It went faster in free practice than in qualifying. My final sector is about 3/10 faster. And my my final sector is actually second off the pace from the fastest guy. Like, final sector is like a lot of loss to that Alpine. Damn. Free practice, I had a faster sector 1, a slightly slower sector 2, comparatively, and then a faster sector 1 by 3/10, which made me half a second faster actually in practice than qualifying. Only the race does me, yeah it does, but like it still indicates the pace, and I'm going slow, so I'm getting a pace anxiety right now. We're at least up to 14 cars on the grid, so well, I guess there's a few more cars here. Although there's a bunch of GT3s that are actually not gonna qualify. We have so far 2 GT3s that are in front of the GT4 grid. The rest are behind the GT4s. And ACC does not do a class split. If they don't put times, then they will start behind us. It's as simple as that. Well, there's a few more guys who are gonna start a flying lap, but the 7, for example, the BMW, number 7 BMW, he will run out of time. There's only 5 seconds remaining, and he's heading in just up to the final corner. He will run out of time. No flyer for him. And there's a few cars also in the pits. The 5 and the 6 car that are also in the pits. 77 was able to put a lap in, but now his lap time is invalidated already, so I have some chat for that one. He's 5 seconds nearly off the pace. Pace in GT3 is 2 minutes 08. Well, GT4 pace is 2 minute 19, at least in qualifying right now. I'm the slowest GT4 that actually put in a lap, so it's pain. Um, 75 and the 4 can still bump themselves out of the bottom part of the grid, but there's at least 3 cars now that have not set a time. 33 can claim pole position. We can watch 33 right now. It's a Ferrari. I mean, I remember this track having not that much grip. Well, I mean, actually, I got the car to somewhat turn in comparison to Indy. He does something in the first sector at least, that I'm satisfied with. Unfortunately, he was not able to improve enough. 75 able to put on a lap. No, he will pull over. He will leave the 4 to complete his lap. So we have a bunch of GT3s starting behind the GT4s. That is a bit of an oof, if I say so myself. So, final car to cross the line was him. And that means 4 cars start behind us and 5 in front of us. Great. GT3s, we have also 2 GT4s on each side. Perfectly balanced as those things should be. There's just 1 GT3 missing in the back and then we will be literally in the middle of the grid. Right, temperatures have gone up further. I had done already a slight pressure adjustment, but I will do a slight further pressure adjustment. I will leave the brake ducts as is. I'm leaving these are actually correctly configured. And I will just drive at this point. See what I can get out of it. You say it so easily. Oh god, I see a Porsche and I'm scared. Like, this is the sign that you just do not want to see in your mirror. I'm sorry, but like... I mean, he's probably a fine enough driver, it's just... When you have beef with someone, you don't need to... At least we don't have like a fucking traffic jam of GT3s anyway. Because there's less of them. Right. What? Wrong button. So, finally figured out which button I need to press. Well... Nonsense.
Stay single file.
Well, it's faster the other way around, I would say. For sure. Okay, there's Kuiper, just driving through the entire grid there. Okay, McDonald was actually someone who was in front of me. What are you guys doing? There's a clear position where you need to be in on for the formation, and I'm clearly in it, and seemingly the rest isn't. I guess it's chaos before we even like get to the start line. Because Maffei belongs behind me. What he's doing in front of me is a bit puzzling. Get behind me finally. You belong behind me. You hadn't put a lap time in. You're way ahead of where you're supposed to be in the formation. Käufer again is like, why are you not able to just stay in your formation? It's the same for GT3s and GT4s. Everybody gets the same formation. It makes it actually difficult to follow GT4s, while easy to follow GT3s. What is the problem? Like, come on. I mean, there's perhaps a point in getting you more temperature this way into the car tires, but like, we're not here in an esports race. You don't need stupid amount of temperatures. Just do the normal program, get the temps in. If you don't, you don't. It's all fun and games. Just stop driving through people, for fucking sakes. It's really annoying. When you're supposed to be behind them. I can understand you overshoot slightly. I understand you can undershoot slightly. But like, why the fuck are there a bunch of people who just cannot drive a formation lap to save their life? It is that simple, but like, apparently rocket science was required to figure this stuff out. Also, you actually get put in formation very late here. We're still not in 2x2. We're still... Now finally we're gonna put in 2x2. Hello, Aston, you fell asleep or something. There's not much time to get into formation. How can you guys mess a bloody formation up? It's not that hard. Are you drunk or something? People, like, come on. You're drunk to comprehend, like, getting into the right position. Oh, but the start line is late, I see. Now we're getting speed limited finally. Although we have way further up the grid than before. We're basically a GT3 at this point. Okay, the Audis have a really good launch, especially in Motorland.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Yeah, Marota had a rocket start.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Come on, if you pass me, then at least pass the other guys well while you're at it.
Clear on the left. Yellow flag, yellow flag.
And half the GT4 grid is all over the place. 2 of the Audis got taken out. And yeah, shoves himself past me and then it's just like, gets scared of the other guy. And again, like, you guys super aggressive on me, but the other guy you got scared with. Standards! Like, just act consistently. You're not acting consistently, and I need to predict what you do with the other guy front, so I can predict what you do. Welcome to the GT4 world where we understeer every single corner.
Yellow flag, be careful. Slow car in.
We have suddenly an NSX standing in the middle of the road. What the fuck is happening here? Could I get my track limit infringements a bit earlier, perhaps? Informed about them. But yeah, COTA is track limit hell. Unfortunately, it's just that track. This track is not going to be fun to race on. He will just constantly get stuck in track limits. Right, so we have the NSX binds. But he is taking his time right now. Ah, way too fast into this corner. What are you doing, NSX? Slowly I'm questioning you. I'm not driving that good that you can't pass me.
Car on the left.
I actually got a 19.9,
Clear on the left.
so I guess I'm not going terribly slow.
Warning for exceeding track limit.
Fuck off! That was within track bounds! Oh, COTA is just immediately not fun due to how much track limits is. And in practice at least you get immediately your lap invalidated and you know that's you went out of bounds, but because we have so little practice and so little qualifying, you barely have any time to like practice the track properly and figure out what the track boundaries are. How much you can stretch them. Because that's the entire thing of the first sector. How far you can get out of bounds. Let's this entire corner lost me actually time to the car front. Brakes! Please turn up! Please turn up! And he's starting to streak away again. Well, if the GT4 has already a drive-through, which is not surprising considering how these track limits function. Man, this Alpine driver is definitely not slow. Yeah, he's lapping 19.3 now. I got 19.5 here. And now it starts raining. Great. My windows are quite a lot open. Grabbed a few too many gears up. Should've just downshifted. And he's actually going faster because last time around I was able to gain through the S's. And this time around I'm not. I've actually lost ground at him. We may not see lapping in this race because how long the track is. No brakes! Tried to push the brakes a bit and boom, immediately overshot, half a second lost. Still 18 minutes on the clock left. Okay, third gear has to be carried through here, second is too short. Completely overshoots the corner again. He continues to lap 19.2 now. I'm a second off the pace of him. Come on, why does it have to rain this strong? Pretty sure it's raining. There's water coming in. There's nothing I can do right now while I'm driving. Yep. It wasn't clear, it's like this through the entire chaos I ended up cycling out back in second. The Alpine is the leader. But just nothing I can do about that guy. He's just a bit too quick. I'm very familiar with that this week. Happened way too many times. While the other guy's just a slight bit too quick. Happened like every single race this week. Usually that'd been a consistency of me finishing P3. But currently it's not looking like that's happening. What do I mean? Who knows? Maybe a GT3 comes out of nowhere and nukes me. I think the last race I did finish P3 due to or just stopping at start finish. Yeah, the Alpine it's so much faster for this section here because I cannot carry the speed. The car's really unwilling with the high speed stuff still. What is the point of having rear wing adjustments when the car is like literally understeering on every setting? It's just such a pathetic joke. Still, I'm assuming in 20s he's lapping low 19s. Continues like this. Ah, that's painful. Bit too early on the brakes. Car's actually getting stopped before the corner. Bathurst? Don't know about Kyalami, but this thing is a weapon at Bathurst. I think they gave it a bad BRP for the American tracks. Don't give me a heart attack there. But yeah, I mean, how badly this thing handles, it's not fun. I need to look at something else. I haven't tried any other circuits, it's just like, I want to drive this to see other circuits, but I should have probably driven it at like some other event as well. Because this feels like an America problem with this car. Car has very little setup adjustments. Like I can adjust more on the Maserati than this. Maybe I should have tried actually the Maserati. Genuinely, because again, the Maserati is not a bad car. It is genuinely a competitive car on a lot of circuits. Including Barcelona. The car genuinely is really good. Imola was also like fucking good. Like I went on a rampage with the Maserati at Imola. Donington was okay. I'm pretty sure now the microphone is definitely picking up the rain outside. Like there's no question about it. Problem if I pause here and to close the windows down, it's... I just have to perhaps hang up my belt to dry. Because it's raining really strong and can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm lapping slower and slower right now. I'm dropping more and more of my pace. It's also been interesting, the pace drop off in the first race. We dropped a lot of pace midway through the stint suddenly. But everybody did, so it's just odd. However, this time around, definitely that guy in front isn't dropping much pace. But he's still dropping, I think. I mean, I'm not putting pressure on him at all. I'm just circling around, waiting for the finish line. I mean, if I want to drive the championship, there's a lot of rounds in with the US tracks. All 3 of them getting used, so if at minimum 2 already are like absolute garbage with this car to drive, then it's no good. Need to look for another car. I mean, I could have brought my KTM. But funny to see how that thing fares. Maybe that's actually good here, huh? Actually, the Audis behind me are quicker than me right now, but one of them has clocked the drive-through. Nine minutes to go. You know, I would have liked to have VAR. When I looked at the price of this pack, I wasn't particularly happy. Like, they're charging way more for this than for the Intercontinental GT when it came out. The Intercontinental GT has just way better tracks than this. The track in this selection is just not as good. I know the GT3 Pro version, probably. Actually, I have driven a GT3 version. It is not as bad, obviously. You can actually adjust settings in the setup, you know, and the car will respond to stuff. Which is the big problem that I had with this. It's like I've changed things, but it does barely anything. Or it's so bad on the default that it's already like everything I do does nothing. Yeah, I really didn't like the Porsche when I drove it, the Laguna Seca, as I said. And that's usually regarded as a really good car. I couldn't get pace out of it. I've driven the Audi and it absolutely sucked. You don't even try to cut the corner and you get track limits. That's the problem of this. It's like, I'm just like, yo, I'm just driving, mate, and I'm not even trying to cut the course, and it's like, you cut the course. I'm just like, everything looks the fucking same. Stop having stupid track limits. Porsche GT3 and Audi are best cars. I mean, the Audi Evo 2 is actually a really good car. apparently. Really competitive, high-end. The Porsche, I don't think it's really competitive anymore. It's nah, not good. It's also too much of a hassle to set up. The M4 is still good. The 720S is still good. The boat is obviously still like tire master, so it's still good. How suddenly decelerates, and it's just odd. I mean, I had issues with brakes at Bathurst, but only on one corner.
Yellow flag is out.
Single corner had like a long brake pedal. All the others were fine. I was into the chase. This kink here is always so bloody weird, especially like in F1 it's fine, but if you're driving multi-class on the circuit, that kink there is just so strange because you can't pass there, GT car, so it's a mess there, that corner. Yeah, I mean the guy behind has pitted, that was the thing. He had a drive-through. I think I had mentioned that offhand. The race leader's about 20 seconds behind us. And they're about 13 seconds a lap faster than us. So we will see the race leader pass us, but I think none of the other ones. The other ones are too far back. The race leader has about 12 seconds on the next car, so... yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still keeping up with the Alpine in front, sort of. But I guess also he's like taking the pace way out of it. Avoiding track cuts and everything. Next car behind is not a race leader. There's 3 minutes on the clock. So likely it will be last lap next time around. If I'm not guesstimating wrong here. I don't know how long the final sector is. As I mentioned, we probably will only deal with the race leader in GT3. The rest of the GT3 won't pass us. They will stay back. It will just be the race leader coming through. Yeah. Will be final lap. If only because the race leader will pass us. Probably not just us, but also the other car in front. Although he will struggle to actually catch the class leader. He has gapped me now up to 7 seconds. Maybe he has realized the leader is coming and is like, yeah, I think I want to keep on the lead lap of GT3, thank you very much. Well, I'm just like, please release me from this pain.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
I should have probably indicated. Well, I just tried to get out of the way as fast as I could. Oh no. Please don't give me a cut track for this. So I'm pretty yeah, that was track limits. It just didn't give me a cut track because I was slow enough. Because cut track will immediately give me one more cut warning is a driver penalty. I bought 3 already. So I need to be careful. Yeah, leader's about 4 seconds up the road. Ferrari's leading, what else? M4 could be a McLaren? I would say those are more common. An Audi? Ferrari is actually slightly surprising. Like, everything else is more normal than a Ferrari. Ferrari are actually really uncommon these days in ACC. I mean, I recently drove one. I feel that the old Ferrari, not the new Evo version, at Imola and actually finished on the podium with it, but I was the only Ferrari on the grid. Granted, we also had like 10 cars. But still, usually you see like 2, 3 Ferraris on the grid. It's probably the only one on the grids at all. And it's not that good of a car, but maybe it's good in BOP on these circuits. Right, he did not catch the class leader, but hey. We are released from the pain. So I will be right back. I need to slightly dry. It has rained on my bed. Luckily the mattress is fine. It's just slide water onto the floor there, which I need to dry off. I will be right back.
Green light, go, go, go.
So, I mean, in part it has gone quite a lot of water in there, and in part it wasn't actually that much. So it was... I mean, the window next to me was more closed, so there was not really any water coming from. But the one over my bed, that one saw quite a bit of water come in. Mainly flow next. I mean, not like flow, but like there was a bit of water that came down. It hit some stuff that laid next to the bed, which is fine. It can just dry that stuff. Quite some larger drops got onto the bed itself, but luckily it didn't actually even hit the mattress. It's only on the upper layers that it actually the bed sheet there is got hit. So that's gonna just dry. I don't even need to swap it out. That's gonna be fine. Right. I did save the replay, but honestly, I don't think we have much to look at even. Yeah, I mean, I agree the rain can sound lovely. It's still actually the part of like it being mildly terrifying. But this happens here. Past me, then he just gets super cautious. Like, the guy clearly gave you the room. It's like, just commit to it. Don't back out of it. You could have easily gone side by side with him, but no. And he just gets super cautious suddenly, trying to follow him, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, but I couldn't predict that. And I think him spinning eliminated a bunch of cars there. Or just people trying to avoid him spun. Because Beamer was fine, Porsche was fine, and then I guess something happens here. McLaren here. Yeah, the McLaren got hit by the... They all slowed down slightly because of the accident. The McLaren got hit by the Chevy, and McLaren then tagged the Audi, and that was 3 of the GT4s eliminated immediately. Which left, obviously... Oh, he lost it. Oh, holy shit! I I mean, he still grazed the barrier there, but like not by much. Yeah, he hits the... he spins himself out with that. But the Alpine just about survives, yo. Ooh, that was so close. Slightly grazed the barrier there. Was okay, I guess. And then I come up the hill because I had a bit... I mean, people had complaints with him again. I don't know what he did. I mean, he was driving a Porsche, which is already suicidal. I wouldn't wish this car on, like... What the fuck was that? I just witnessed there. He just stays on the throttle there and... wrecks intentionally. Really weird stuff there happening. But I mean, the Porsche is gonna be pain as well in turning department. So, do we want to try different cars out on these tracks? Because I mean, I suffered now the wrath of the Mercedes. We could try the Maserati briefly. Now, obviously, in the only right delivery you can drive a Maserati in. I need to finally fucking finish perhaps one day this delivery. They're not pit 10. The 143 flat is just this car. The America tracks. Which one do we want to drive actually? We haven't driven Watkins Glen yet. But I want to try COTA right now, I think. Just see what that car does. I think I will leave it at these weather conditions. That should produce something... it's probably gonna be colder than what I ran with. Maybe slightly warmer. It would be fine. Should produce roughly what we want. Yeah, that's very close. Grid of presets. Okay, like that's relatively open. Rear wing on 3, all of that looks fine. Because the rear wing actually does something on this car, compared to other things. Steering lock, I think we leave that at 17. The springs on the front are like all the way stiff. I think I'm gonna soften them one click, because that's a bit insane, that setting. And stiffen the rears one click. Sounds like a sane decision for me. Anti-roll bars are on the softest setting for both. Brake power at 92. Okay, we're gonna go brake pad 1. So we can compare. 55 liters. Obviously no TC or ABS on the car. There's a lot of tow on the car. We can take... Nah, we're gonna lower it only to 1. Let's not take all of it out. Well then, I think we can just try this.
Green light, show them what you got. Low tire pressure, stay clear of the curbs.
So yeah, the Maserati. We're gonna probably be in pain for turn 1 and the penultimate and the back straight turns. And actually there's more corners where heavy braking is involved. There's in total I think 3 heavy braking zones on this track. Although turn 1 with its uphill... Ooh.
We've got some light damage on the front.
I have to admit, I did not expect the car to spin there.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Also, what is weird is like how long these pit lanes are, and like we're starting so far back in them. There's so much more space in the pit lane technically. That the ACC devs are like, nah, you can't use that. I think, however, there might be a new problem of like downhill. I'm actually getting wheel spin with this car, perhaps. Oh yeah, you suddenly have turning. This revolutionary thing of turning. And this thing is a very heavy car, you have to respect its weight. So it's like, it's not that agile. It's totally not agile, but like it's... At least with this brake power setting, this corner is a no-brainer. You can actually increase the brake power, the thing is not locking. Or the brakes are cold, which could also be the case because we're running relatively open brake decks. We have a bit of locking here, which is fine. I mean, most Mercedes drivers experience purposing, and not most, two of them. But yeah, if you send me to the mountain, I'm not gonna drive this car for sure. Maserati is not actually that good on the mountain. Although I could try it again. Oh yeah, with the uphill you really have barely any issues on the brakes. Braking really isn't an issue. It's usually that can be it's massive Achilles heel. Ah, that got invalidated. That was too good. That was too much cut. Track limits are very aggressive on that bump up there. I actually ran out of brake power into that corner for once. Might need to bump the brake power up even on this circuit. It's hilarious. Yeah, I can brake as late as I did with the MUQU. Yeah, they can be a nightmare and a half. I think the ACC version is really bad. Usually ACC is really like forgiving with track limits, and you don't have to like think about them too much. But this circuit is like absolutely terrifyingly bad. I don't know how far I can actually go with the final corner. With the penultimate corner, I mean. Because there you want to understeer a lot. A 19.0, however, despite that. Like 19.0 immediately. Good Maserati. Yeah, the Maserati is good. It's my unofficial conclusion. I should have driven the Maserati tonight. Oh fuck. Overdid it a bit. Because this car can oversteer. in high speed, you know. Remind again, the MUQU doesn't do that. I think carrying third there, no need to go to second. This car has very long gears and relatively slow shifting. Also a lot of engine power. It doesn't have, however, much top speed. Top speed really isn't its strong suit. I tried at Monza once and it absolutely sucks on that circuit. Maserati is a complete failure there. And hey, as I mentioned, Imola, it's good. And ironically, really good. I think maybe it's because the devs can't drive this car, so it gets buffed. So it's relatively favorable BOP because it's difficult to drive. It makes it fun to drive because you can get away with mistakes and still be quick. Yeah, this was, however, 19.7, however. Very slow in comparison to the previous lap. The tire pressure is also expanding. Oof. That was the curb there. And I invalidated my lap again with that stupid corner because I like to cut it. Because usually you can get away with that much cut. But like, it's just, on this track, no. This one track, you are not allowed to do this. Hello? However, what is weird is the wheel spin you suddenly get at some point out of corners. Really strange. Like, everything is going fine and then suddenly you go sideways. When you're already like straightened out and everything. You're done with turning and everything and suddenly the car is like, nah. Yeah, it was a terrible exit there. A lot of sideways. That was pushing the brakes a bit. Too much. Guess it worked as well. Oh no, on the last few meters I missed the apex there. And lost all my time. Half a second just poofed out of existence. I did miss the apex. That's unfortunate. Again, I think I need a bit more brake bias rivets. Lock the brakes in those few corners a bit much. Front discs. I can't see right now where my brake bias setting is because I stepped on the throttle too early, too much. You need to still be careful on the throttle. Surprisingly late in the corner, the car will suddenly start oversteering. You already like think you're done with the corner. And suddenly I did not have any brakes. And got invalidated immediately. Yeah, we have quite bad flat spots, I think, at this point. Yeah, my front left seems to have cooked itself. Not so great. And now I'm going actually slow again. It's pathetic. It's fast I'm letting my pace drop off. Granted, it's more understandable with this car than the others, but like... still... such a thing shouldn't happen. Ah! There's this sudden burst sometimes of power that comes out of the car. It's odd because usually it doesn't do that. I'm not used to it. Granted, it's a hot minute since I've driven it, but like... I mean, actually that long, it's a few weeks, but like... grand scheme of things, that's not nothing, but like... still... it suddenly snaps on you occasionally, it's still something. Right. With all of these things, how did my first set of tires look? Moderate flat spots in the front, right inside tire. Not too surprising, we're locking that tire up completely. Comparison to all the other tires. Okay. Let's try this.
Low tire pressure, stay clear of the curbs.
Yeah, the thing wants to actually oversteer. Surprising as that is. Yeah, I'm entering with a bit too much slide. At least there I was entering with too much slide and it was carrying the oversteer through the entire face of the corner. I need actually 4th gear for this section here. Lost a lot of time there out of the corner. It's kind of scary how much speed I can carry through here. Still wrong there, got a slight bit of oversteer. That came from the entry into the mid corner. That's fine. That's all fine. However, here I missed the apex completely. Actually bleeding time there. And an 18.9. That's more like it. Ah, that was too much cut again. I need to stay on the red curbing, I can't take the undercut. Otherwise it's immediately invalidated. I think there's enough testing of this car. And completely shoots wide. That was too quick. Despite such a mediocre lap, still ended up going that slowly. Hello, brakes. Unfortunately, the brakes did not work this time around. Cost me time. So easy to get a wheel spin. I've said multiple times now. Okay, that was too much. I think this is a good point to call it. Right. Okay then. Mechanical adjustment. That was my brake bias. Then save. Maserati COTA 01. Save. Quit. Right. And we've noticed the Maserati is actually not terrible. Although there's still a massive pace drop off after a few laps. This could have been this last time around due to, well, flat spotting the tires to death. Okay. Right. Oh, that's why. Didn't I ban this user before? Because as far as I know, you can only really... I can't really ban people. Yeah, that's the close thing I can do. 'Cause I saw these like bots come in earlier. Luckily, I don't have anything displayed on my stream, so it's just the bot writing in itself. Nothing of value will be gained or lost. Right, but still needs to be deleted before I get into trouble. Sign-ups for July Enduro in RCI open. So 23rd of July, so it's late July that was. Right. Long enough evening. Done some driving on the new tracks, but well, But yeah, let's just briefly open this up. And then call it a night. Good night. Bye bye.